Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you is having a fantastic Sunday wherever we are around the world. And welcome back to a major breaking news episode for you guys this evening, and that is the Bayern Munich have agreed a deal with Liverpool at around 75 million euros for Luis Díaz. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. I think plenty of people at least happy with the price tag, of course, of 75 million euros. It works out around 65.5 million pounds, which I think for, again, Luis Díaz, that did have 2 years left on his contract. And again, he's made it quite clear he wanted to leave Liverpool. I think it's a very, very good deal in an overall sense. But I do think, look, Lucho was a very good player for Liverpool. And of course, now it'll be the question of how do Liverpool replace him, and of course, other bits and pieces. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you are new around here, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and of course, all of that good stuff. Anyway, but yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts, of course, on Luis Díaz on his way out of Liverpool for 75 million euros. Again, I think it's a decent deal. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. We will take a look at all of the news as well, and get your guys' thoughts and reactions down in the comments. But big up QT as well, saying smash the likes and subs on the way in as well. Yeah, if you could, very much appreciate it as always. Doug says, I'm sad to see Lucho leaving as well. Look, I think he's a very good player, isn't he? And that's the thing. Look, his end product, I think, is the main talking point. I think all of us have turned around and said in the past that, look, that is the one area that he can upgrade upon. But I think his overall game, in terms of the footballer, Luis Díaz, I think he's been very, very good for Liverpool and is a very, very good footballer. And I think now when you look at that Bayern Munich team, of course, with Luis Díaz on the left, Michael Olise on the right, and Harry Kane up top, it's a very good front three. It really is. But yeah, again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. But we will take a look at, of course, what David Ornstein has come out and said. Of course, he was the original guy that did break the news being totally agreed upon. Of course, he did come out and say that Bayern Munich reached total agreement with Liverpool to sign Luis Díaz, a deal for the 28-year-old winger, 75 million euros plus permission granted to travel for medical, proposed 4 years plus 1 year contract at Bayern, now £190 million sales since Hughes become the Liverpool sporting director, which again, Richard Hughes has done a tremendous job with that. But what David Ornstein has come out and said in this article, I do have it up on screen because I can't show you guys. He does go on to say that Bayern Munich have fully agreed a 75 million euro deal to sign Luis Díaz. Díaz is currently in Tokyo with Arne Slot's squad on pre-season tour, but Liverpool have given him permission to travel and complete his medical to the German champions in the next 24 hours. Earlier this summer, Liverpool rejected a 67.5 million euro bid from Bayern, but Díaz, as reported by The Athletic, talks over a deal for the Colombian. Liverpool were only prepared to sell the forward for what they considered to be his full market value, with the club already securing transfer fees for the sales of Joel Konza, Joaquin Kelleher, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Nat Phillips already this summer. Díaz, who has been contracted until 2027, has made it clear he wants to leave Liverpool. This summer, head coach Arne Slot confirmed on Saturday that he had left the Liverpool was left out of Liverpool's friendly against AC Milan due to conversations over his future. And it does go on to say, obviously speaking about Arne Slot's comments, but they do also go on to say in this article piece that, again, he did obviously Liverpool did try to get him signed to a new contract as well. It does go on to say, though, there's that Liverpool won't need to pay anything towards a sell-on fee or anything like that with Porto as well, which again is great. It's great news in that sense. But look, at the end of the day, I think it's a very good price for the player. I really do. I think Liverpool, in my honest opinion, I think have got the better deal out of the two, even though, again, I think many Bayern fans, what I've seen already, have kind of like taken it back a little bit because, of course, they missed out on Florian Wirtz. They've missed out on other targets like Nico Williams, for example, and other players this season. And Bayern Munich have realistically kind of search the market really for who they could go out and get. And I've seen a lot of Bayern fans turning around and saying that, look, Lucho or Luis Díaz would be the best option on the market at the moment, that for their team would be perfect, of course, because when Jamal Musiala's back and refit, of course, you've got that front four of Musiala, Elise, Luis Díaz, and Harry Kane. And I think with Luis Díaz as well, he offers you versatility in terms of the striker and on the left. So there's plenty there for Bayern Munich to work with as well, in my opinion. But we'll also discuss as well what Fabrizio Romano said on the deal, because he's had a fair bit to say as of right now. Of course, this was the initial report that he did put out, as you guys can see on screen right now. He does go on to say, FC Bayern reached full agreement to sign Luis Díaz from Liverpool. Here we go, £75 million package agreed, and authorization for medical also confirmed from Liverpool. Lucho wanted to leave. Liverpool accepted the conditions, and Díaz will now sign a 4-year deal at Bayern Munich. What we now know of this as well, and again, I'm going to talk about it in euros and not pounds, but we now know it's 70 million base fee, 5 million in add-ons, but the add-ons are supposedly meant to be very easy to get. So again, it looks like it is going to be the total 75 million euros, which again is a fantastic deal from the likes of Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, these people doing the type of deals that, like, I think Liverpool, in my honest opinion, are the best in the business in that bracket of getting the best for their talent. And look, we've been quite honest, haven't we, that Liverpool has said this in the past as well, where we will sell for the right price, and we'll also sell any player. There's no, and I think certainly now with this new regime in charge as well, I also look at it and go, we will 100% sell anyone if it was the right price. Like, if, for example, who's a fringe player, right? Like Harvey Elliott, for example, if the right price is met, Liverpool will go for it. And again, only if the price is right. And I know people will turn around and go, oh, look, Liverpool said a couple of weeks back that Lucho wasn't for sale, and that's 100%. But they also put that price tag in. They also said 100 million euros. Now, I think Liverpool have that was realistically, a little bit of a fib in terms of like, 100 million euros, that's gonna not attract anyone. But I think the fact that Bayern Munich went up as high as 75 million euros, I think that pretty much screamed to Liverpool like, look, we could do this deal now, potentially bring someone else in for that price, of course, because realistically, from Liverpool just selling the likes of Jarell Konza, Quicken Kelleher, and Luis Díaz, Liverpool have pretty much paid off Florian Wirtz for that, or if not even more for that. So with that being said, it pretty much already takes out the biggest signing we've made this season to go out and make another big signing, which will of course be Alexander Isak. So yeah, it's an exciting time at the moment, chat, isn't it? But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down below, of course, because we'll get into a bit more of what Romano said in due course. But I want to know your guys' thoughts, of course. Are you worried for the left-hand side? Because I think, my honest opinion, I think Liverpool will get 2 forwards now. I really do. I think Liverpool will get 2. I think we'll go and get Alexander Isak. I think we'll go and get a centre-half. And I think we may go after a backup winger, possibly. But again, I think that's if everything goes well in terms of what Liverpool want to do for the rest of the summer anyway. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts. More signings is a must, because apart from Wirtz and Kirkes, we are weaker. We lost Kelleher's VVQ, Diaz, and obviously Jota, RIP. All those were important and better as well at the moment. True. I got my coat and car ready to drive Diaz to Bayern Munich, so he didn't get injured. What happened to Naby getting injured sitting on a plane? I don't think that was ever true, was it? Like, he got injured on a plane, but again, I'm not too sure. But big up Tasso as well, big up Ozan. But we must get Isak or a class winger now, and a centre back in this window. Yeah, I think, look, I was going to bring it up a bit later on, but I will talk about what Romano has just said about Luis Díaz. Obviously, it is aggregated by Anfield Sector, so big up to them guys. But yeah, as it says, but they're big breaking. After Luis Díaz is gone, I expect Liverpool to go very strong for Alexander Isak. The official bids are considered a matter of time. That's come from Fabrizio Romano as well. So it is just a waiting game at the minute, chat, to figure out what Liverpool are going to do. Because look, of course, we think Liverpool are going to go all in for Alexander Isak. I know some people mentioned today about Rodrigo. Now, Rodrigo isn't going to happen because simply the wages. Now, there was a rumor going around, I think it was yesterday, that Arsenal had been back in contact with the camp of Rodrigo, and Rodrigo told Arsenal he'd want something very similar to Bukayo Saka. Now, Saka is on 350 grand a week. There is no chance Liverpool are doing that for him. Yeah, there's no chance. So Liverpool are out of the race for Rodrigo. I think for somebody like an Alexander Isak, it's a bit different because again, he is the best striker or one of the best strikers in the world. But again, I think a winger. I think we look for a backup to be a backup to Cody, but also can also rotate with Rio as Ozan says. But I'm okay with Isak and Cahill for the rest of the window. Rio can be a backup left winger. I think we sign another one and also keep Rio in the loop, because watching Rio Nguma yesterday, he was brilliant. Or when we played AC Milan, he was brilliant. I think he is going to be a really, really good player for us in the coming seasons. But again, I think Liverpool want a versatile forward because we're going to end up losing Chiesa by the looks of things. So yeah, having another versatile forward would be perfect for Liverpool for sure. But yes, he played centre back. Hopefully, or yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, bring Ozan Kabak back from. Doesn't he play for Schalke now? Again, so yeah, not too sure. But could Wirtz get the 7 now? Possibly. I think he will end up getting the 7. Most likely, squad number wise, you're probably looking at what Wirtz 7. If we sign Alexander Isak, he's most likely going to get number 14 or number 9, either one, because we know Darwin Núñez is going to leave. So, yeah, it's a interesting point at the moment. But yes, he played centre back and a weak attack too as well. Yeah, that's true. I think this is why Liverpool left off the official numbers for the new players. Yeah, they did. Absolutely, they did. Rio looks elite as well. Yeah, no, he does. Absolutely, 100%. But look, Rio for me, you need to give him time to begin with, because look, if say for example Cody Gakpo gets injured, you're then down to Rio Nguma on the left. Yes, you can play Hugo Ekitike there, and that's probably another option that Liverpool are looking at for sure. But I also look at it and go that we do need a backup winger because with Chiesa also going, you're then down a player on the right, you're down a player on the left. There's so many things a bit wrong with that. I think you need to sign a left winger or somebody who is versatile that can play on both flanks, in my opinion, at least anyway. Fab Romano blocked me on YouTube. Why, Martin? But Hoffenheim Con as well. Is he at Hoffenheim? Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I was giving the timestamps on his video saying some amazing players were joining United as well. Jesus Christ. Is there a left wing out there that fits us? Probably, if you look at the market. I've said to you guys, maybe Liverpool might go after Malik Fofana, but it does depend on what happens. And of course, there's other teams at the minute going for Fofana because Everton, was it yesterday or the day before, got a post from Romano talking about him going to Everton. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. But there's definitely people on the market as well that Liverpool will look at that we currently not discussing or even looking at the moment. Because again, if somebody on the date, if somebody pings on the laptop of data, then we know for a fact that they are the guys to obviously, to go and sign. And yeah, it won't be Anthony Gordon either. I don't think again, the funniest thing about Gordon last season was never Liverpool that went for Gordon. Yes, Liverpool like Gordon, and they like the prospect and the type of player he is, but Liverpool never really went in for him. It was always Newcastle trying to figure out a move that they could do for PSR. Now, of course, it was to get rid of Anthony Gordon while also bringing in Joe Gomez, and that was the deal. But yeah, and it won't be Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers is not a winger. This is the thing. Arne Slot likes wingers. He likes pacey attacking wingers, and that is not Morgan Rogers. This is why when people turn around and go, "Oh, Wirtz can play on the left," no, not in an Arne Slot system. Can he do that? Can he do it from maybe fill in for a game? Sure, he can. But in terms of if Arne Slot was putting out his plans right now, Florian Wirtz is nowhere near that left wing position. Never. So yeah, that's the thing. But CJ says finally Diaz is gone though as well. Rogers will cost about 100 million. Don't want Morgan Rogers. I'm not gonna lie. Give me Rafael Leao. Jesus. One good preseason game, yeah. Jesus Christ, Ozan. No. I would never want him anyway. Because when we're talking about somebody that can press, again, Rafael Leao cannot press for anything. So yeah, we'll leave it there. To be fair, but again, on the Luis Díaz stuff, the one thing I would also say, and are we happy with the price tag, guys? Because I know that I've seen some people saying that they wasn't that Liverpool should have possibly got a bit more. I think it's the perfect amount that Liverpool sold him for, because again, I think if we kind of rejected the move again, I think Bayern Munich wouldn't have come back in, because those reports of Bayern's limit was 80 million euros. Okay, Liverpool could have possibly pushed for that, or at least tried to push a little bit more. But I think in an overall perspective, the fact that we've made a profit on Luis Díaz after, was it how many years Lucho been here? 3.5 years. Again, I think it's a very, very good deal. I really do. And I think, look, Liverpool now will try obviously and go and get Alexander Isak, and also I think Liverpool will go and get another forward, with not just with the money from Luis Díaz, but of course that position you have to kind of replace, unless Arne Slot has full faith in Rio Nguma to become, or Nkamoa, whatever you want to pronounce it, as his left wing option, which could be very much the case as well. But look, in my honest opinion, I think Liverpool will go for 2 forwards and also go for a centre half as well. But of course, Craig Hope as well also coming out in the last 23 minutes, saying that Newcastle have braced themselves for a formal bid from Liverpool for Alexander Isak that will come this week. So it does look like things could be ramping up very, very quickly for Alexander Isak, because I think Eddie Howe at the end of Arsenal's game today come out and said that there was zero chance that he will come out to Asia for their preseason tour. So whether or not they've already accepted he's going to leave is another thing, because I think Newcastle themselves are, similar to how Liverpool said Luis Díaz wasn't for sale. I think they're now in an acceptance now of Alexander Isak is going to leave Newcastle to join Liverpool, because he only wants to join Liverpool, and he's made that quite clear to Newcastle and to Liverpool themselves, which is great news, really. Youngster from PSG says Anthony as well. Big up Ollie as well, saying evening com. Good luck to Lucho as well. Yeah, no, that's 100%. I fully agree with that. Look, I said this to you guys at the start of the show. If Luis Díaz could finish, he would be a £200 million player easily. But because that end product isn't there, of course, his ability on the ball is amazing. His pressing is really good. Again, off the ball work is brilliant. It's tremendous. But it is just that finishing and his decision making at times as well kind of lets him down. And this is why I also think Liverpool wasn't really against selling Luis Díaz either, because I think Liverpool think that they can upgrade on that position in the future. Whether or not they think that now, for that price. But again, I think, as you guys have mentioned in the chat, Bradley Barcola. Again, Barcola would be an amazing option for Liverpool if you could get it done. But of course, PSG, he's never going to leave. But yeah, no, Barcola's one. Obviously, Anthony Gordon's another one. Nico Williams was an option before he signed his new contract. So there has been options for Liverpool to try and go for. There's probably even still more options that haven't really been discussed. But I think as of things right now, I think the forward that I mentioned that isn't Isak, I think is someone that we haven't been linked to or even looked at yet, in terms of they'll be similar to like Diogo Jota in terms of very much under the radar, but the data team absolutely love him. And I think that's someone that we're going to go for. Who that person is, I don't know. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. The price is right, but we better replace him because I didn't want him to go. Yeah, and I think everyone else is in agreement of that. Like, I think Liverpool, because we've had that sentence come out from the club as well, that we didn't need to sell Luis Díaz, but he's made it quite clear he wants to leave because he's going to be getting over £200,000 per week. Now, Paul Joyce, in his article, revealed that Liverpool had tried twice to get his contract sorted, and talks about his contract broke down twice, because Liverpool had a price point that we wanted to go for. Again, Luis Díaz's camp didn't want that. They wanted over £200,000 per week. And look, Liverpool simply didn't want to do that. They didn't want to sign him for, you look at the contract he's just signed with Bayern Munich, where I said, it's over, basically it's practically a 5-year contract. Again, Liverpool are not going to offer Luis Díaz a 5-year contract when he's now at the moment 28. When he is 25, he'll go on to be, 33 at the moment. Again, Liverpool are not going to accept that. When already, at the moment, Liverpool really like Luis Díaz, but could Liverpool hold out for a 33-year-old Luis Díaz? No, I don't think they would. I think, again, it's kind of different than Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, because they are the best in the world in their position, even at their age, because again, Virgil is now 33, 34, Mo Salah 32, going on 33. Again, Liverpool think they are the best in their position, and they rightfully are, and they will pay the big bucks for them. Now, Luis Díaz the best left winger in world football? No, he's not. But is he a really good footballer? Yes, he is. Now, he does deserve a contract raise, but I think where it did come down to it might not even possibly have been the wage demand. I think possibly it could have been length of contract. I don't think Liverpool had given him a 5-year deal. I think a 3-year contract, or something like that, or 3-year for an extension of 1 year. That could have been an idea, but of course, by the looks of things, he wanted a 5-year contract, and yeah, Liverpool not going to give him to him for the price as well. But QC says, I don't want Barcola. He is Gordon from abroad as well. I like Bradley Barcola. I think he's pretty decent. I think Barcola, says Anime, as well. Julio, no, I don't want him. Ozan, no, I don't want him. Diaz was doing it in the Prem, not a Farmers League as well. He was, to be fair. But then again, Luis Díaz was signed from the Portuguese league. And at the time, again, those 6 months that he had at Liverpool at the start of the year, thought, again, unbelievable. That 21-22 season, when he come in for those 6 months, he was unreal. And he was even unreal the whole season that we had, and then he picked up that knee injury, and it took him well over a year to get back to himself. And yeah, we never saw that version of Luis Díaz again, unfortunately. But yeah, no, we saw a top player in that regard. Anyway, but Diaz, I read that one out, apologies. Diaz is going to rip up the German league. No, he is 100%. He'll do amazing out there for sure. Then, guys, we see why a lot of our fan base slept on him as well. I think look, Luis Díaz for me. Again, I think he's a really, really boss player. But like I said, I think Liverpool think they can upgrade upon him, and if they think they can, then great. But I think it was the perfect time to sell him because he's made it clear he wants to leave the football club. He's not going to sign a new contract, and then it is the perfect time to sell. Really, because again, when we're talking about price tags as well, Luis Díaz next year would have been around what 70, not 70, sorry, would have been about what 30 million or just below that, possibly. So it is the perfect time to sell. But I would say Eze, but he plays better in midfield. I wouldn't have Eze personally. Knowing how Hughes and Edwards operate, we will have at least 2 left wing options up our sleeves. No worries. Yeah, exactly. And I think one of them options is Rio Nguma. I think the other one, Liverpool will look at the market. But Liverpool's priority right now is getting Alexander Isak and getting that over the line. I don't know if anything else has just come out regarding Alexander Isak. Hang on a chat. But yeah, as far as we know, Liverpool, that's the plan. Liverpool could still give Newcastle an opportunity to try and sort out their striker problem at the moment, because again, they're struggling to sign Wisa, they're struggling to get Sesko over the line. Maybe if Liverpool give him the 130 million, then again they might then just fully push for both. But I think as of things right now, Liverpool are going to try and do everything to get Alexander Isak in the next week. And we will be there. We will 100% be there to see Liverpool try everything to get Alexander Isak in as well. But Ozan says, and the £65 million from Bayern goes a long way to buying a younger player, Con, as well. True, but I also think if there's a player now that, let's say they're 24, and they have an amazing season next year, or even, Liverpool look at them and go, oh, they could progress up. For example, I think Liverpool will do that. I think Liverpool will go for them and hope they do progress. Similar like what we did with Lucho, because Lucho was the best player in Portugal at the time. We bought him, excelled in, like I said, over the 6 months, and then picked up that injury, unfortunately. But Liverpool will have an idea anyway for how we want to do and how we want to operate in the market for sure. But if we upgrade and the player, however, it would be a star, because Diaz will be missed otherwise, because his tracking back now was underrated too. True, that is very, very true. But I think, I think going back and thinking about last season, when Cody Gakpo was fit, I think he was just the starter or the main starter for Liverpool in terms of that left wing. I think that's the same now. I think Cody will start on the left for Liverpool. And then, look, if we need options there, of course, you've also got Dom Szoboszlai who can play there, that we've not really experimented that much. I know, obviously, Dom at the minute is more experimented at right back instead of left wing. But again, you could even play Dom there if you wanted to, because he plays there for Hungary. So there's definitely options there for Liverpool, for sure. But the overall sense of things, guys, is the fact that, number one, Luis Díaz is going to join Bayern Munich, 75 million euros on a 4-year contract, plus an option for a further year. So basically a 5-year contract. Of course, Liverpool will get 70 million up front, 5 million are in add-ons. But of course, the 5 million add-ons are reportedly very easy to get, so it's probably not involving winning the Champions League, winning the Bundesliga. It is just fully easy add-ons for Liverpool to have from Bayern Munich. So again, that's good news as well. And of course, like we mentioned, again, all the reporters now are reporting, the likes of Fabrizio Romano, Craig Hope as well, is that this Luis Díaz move will go on to fund, or go on to at least push Liverpool to go and sign Alexander Isak as well. So again, great news in that aspect of things. But yeah, as to be fair, the Times has just come out and reported they merged that Liverpool, it now emerges that Liverpool had 2 attempts to extend his contract and failed. Diaz has been granted permission to leave the club's preseason tour in Tokyo as well, and reportedly he'll be in Germany tomorrow as well for his medical. But look, any other bits of news, we will be live for it, of course. But let me quickly read out the last few comments before we do shoot off for today. But Gakpo, it is too easy to stop, in my opinion. Even yesterday showed it. Yes, he can score great headers in the box, but he ain't a winger, in my opinion, as well. I also do think Ekitike will be played a bit more on the left as well. But I would agree. I think Liverpool need to go and get another winger. But Ozan says Isak is coming. I generally believe it. It's happening. Like it's not a conversation point at the minute. Ozan, it is happening. Liverpool are going to try everything to get Alexander Isak to Liverpool for sure. But we need a winger like Diaz that can take on a man as well. Rio Nguma, but possibly as well. But again, we will be there at least anyway. But look, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your days anyway. Look, if there's any more news on Diaz or Isak or anything like that, we'll be back a bit later on for it, of course. But again, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section down below. You're happy? Are you not so happy in terms of the Luis Díaz move? But yeah, let me know all of your guys' thoughts down in the comments down below. But yeah, until next time, guys, that's going to be it from me. I've been Connor from the Cup Council. We'll see you guys a bit later on. Ta-ra.